Shalom Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to leg out there doing his work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Right, and I want to get into just a basic topic, just getting into the essence of things, because our foundation, that is what we always have to go back to, regardless. When I think I mentioned this before recently, I don't know too much about boxing, but I hear some people say that you slipping up or whatever, but you always go back to. You go back to the basics. You go back to your fundamentals. And basketball is the same way. Your jump shot is off, or your handling is a little bit up. Okay, go back to the basics. Go back to the fundamentals and what you learned, just to sharpen those things up. Get your coordination down right, and then execute. So a lot of times, when we weigh things out, we evaluate ourselves, we evaluate, our lives, we evaluate everything around us. We often have to go back to the foundation, look at the foundation and what we are built off of. What does the foundation stand on? What morals, characteristics, principles, and things were at the core, a part of our foundation, And one of the main things of our foundation, as we know, is the suffering, is the going through the ups and downs. And, it should be self-explanatory because it's something that we already go through as a people. We already go through this as a people. We already suffer. We already constantly go through it day in and day out. So the only difference is now we suffering in righteousness' sake, and we know exactly what we're suffering for and why. Before, we would just, like flapping in the breeze, hanging in the dark, just wondering when is it going to end. But now we know that suffering has an end, and we're patiently waiting that end while enduring all temptations. All right, so this is Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. And the main thing is what? Prepare thy soul for temptation. So if you know what you're into, this is what you have to prepare for. Prepare your mind, your body, your spirit to be tempted in ways that you haven't been tempted before. And when I say that, it's because we've all been through some of the same things, and we're all going to constantly experience a lot of the same things day in and day out. But the difference is that you're more aware, The difference is that you're more aware. So now that temptation to fight is that much more harder because you're conscious of it, That's why Paul constantly mentioned that, within the spirit, you want to do what's right, but in the flesh, you want to do what's wrong, because it's always that battle of the flesh versus the spirit. And we always have to make sure that, our spirit overall is winning. You're going to lose some, but our spirit in the end has to win, It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. So once you get your mind right and you know that we're built off of this solid foundation on Yahweh Shah, which is our rock, you have to constantly endure, meaning what things are going to keep coming up within your life, unexpectedly, whether things you do expect, so on and so forth. Things are going to be there, and you're going to have to weather the storm. That's what we're built off, weathering the storm. Israelites. That's how we live, man. We constantly endure. That's why they say, well, with the movie Baby's Kids, we don't die, we multiply. You could think about that going back to the time of Egypt, and you could think about that now. We multiplying, period. And especially us in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, we definitely multiplying in the name of the Lord, and increasing rapidly with this knowledge upon the earth, So when we buckle down, that's why the scriptures say, because I would say, make not haste in the time of trouble. Right? Go to the book of Proverbs 3:25. It says, "Be not afraid of sudden fear, near the desolation of the wicked when it cometh." Because why? The Lord is going to be with us. The Lord is going to be guiding us. The Lord is going to keep our minds steady. The scriptures also say what? Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. So what? Why shouldn't we be afraid of sudden fear nor desolation of the wicked when it cometh? Because it's not for us. We're going to have to go through it and endure all hells, but it's truly not for us. It's for the wicked of our people, and mainly Esau and these other nations. Okay, that's who it's really built for, not for the righteous. Everlasting goodness is meant for the righteous, but the desolation is meant for the wicked. So when certain things come up, we are to try to gain our wits about us, know that the Lord is with us, keep calm and move it right. It's times you're going to be afraid, you're going to be fearful of certain things. Certain things might spook you out a little bit, but overall, we built off of that solid foundation, so we know where we stand with the Lord. We should know where we stand, to a degree, that is. Verse 3, it says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end," because this is what we hope for. No matter what you go through your ups and downs, you always want to cleave unto the Lord and don't fade away. Don't fade into black like Jay-Z album. We want to be increased in the last end. We want a reward for the things in which we're doing, for the sacrifices in which we make, and even though we don't deserve it, but the Lord is that gracious through his mercies, to give us that great end in which we desperately look for, desperately desire for, So that's why the scriptures say this, the book of Lamentations. Lamentations 3:21. "This I recall to mind, therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul, therefore will I hope in him." Okay, so this is what we have to constantly recall in mind, that the foundation. What's a part of that foundation? Knowing that while we're still alive, while we still have the second chances, because Yahweh Shah put his life on the line. But ultimately, it was up to the Lord Yahweh to put that order in, for Yahweh Shah to go through that, to give us the second chance. So it's always because of the Lord's mercies. That's why the other nations haven't consumed us. Now they consumed us on a level to where, it's a punishment, but they haven't consumed us to a point where we'll be forever destroyed off the face of the earth. The Lord ain't having that, because we are his chosen people, chosen by the Lord. So it's nobody that can do away with us. Only the Lord can, but he promised us, according, to the promises, to the covenants that he made with our forefathers, that he will be merciful unto us. So that's what he's doing. And going through things can often be mercy, So it's all because of the Lord's compassions. That's why, we still taken to this day. "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." So if you want to be found as a piece of gold, you got to know what we got to go through. We built for the furnace of adversity. And the things that are brought upon us, it may be hard to take them cheerfully in a moment, but you just got to keep in mind that I know I'm suffering for righteousness. I'm no longer suffering for wickedness. And that's one of the best things that you could keep in your mind, because that allows you at least to, not get caught up in the emotional standpoint of the flesh and just thinking, why me? Because so many people do that. So many people out here do that not having a clue, but we have a clue. So we shouldn't be in the same mind state as these other people, and be patient with our change to a low state, because things is only temporary. This lifetime we live in now of hell is only temporary. Bad monetary situations is only temporary. Everything we going through in this society is only temporary, but the kingdom and the promises that we have from the Lord is everlasting, man. So, one more scripture real quick. And going back to the book of Hebrews 12:5. "And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint of him when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if he be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards